Can you make money from YouTube Shorts? Good question. One of the major things that we want to do when we get onto YouTube is obviously make some money. If we can possibly parlay this into some kind of income. Yes, you can. And what we're going to do is go over all of that for you in a very short moment. So stick around. By the end of this video, we're going to go over everything you're going to need to know about making money with YouTube Shorts. First of all, how does it work? What exactly is the purpose behind it? Second of all, what are the requirements that YouTube expects you to adhere to? And third of all, there's one little aspect that's starting to creep into YouTube Shorts that may be a warning. It also may be some leverage. So let's go over it right now. First of all, if YouTube Shorts are anything like long-form YouTube channels, of course you can make money with it. That's the easy answer. That's the short answer. The long answer is there are a few hoops you got to jump through, and YouTube wants to make sure that you're playing along and everything's going to be good to make sure that they can write you a check. The way it works, think of it very simply like either TV or radio. You're bringing eyes to an advertiser's attention. How many eyes are you bringing? And that's the whole crux of everything when it comes to advertising in media, whether it's newspaper, magazines, radio, websites, TV, you name it. The whole purpose is you've built the audience and the advertiser is going to come through you to get to your audience. And your audience hopefully matches the demographics of what they're selling. That's why marketing works. You match up shows with audiences and products, and that's how it works. So it's not very different from the main scheme of things. You're pretty much aware of it. Now, some very minimum requirements that YouTube requires are, first of all, a minimum of 1,000 subscribers. So start there. The very beginning of your YouTube journey is probably going to be going after subscribers, making sure that you've reached that 1,000 threshold. And then the last two are kind of tricky, but hear me out here. First of all, there's 400 watch hours in the last year, or 10 million minutes in the last 90 days. Either one of those two combined with the 1,000 subscribers, and you are eligible for monetization through YouTube advertisements. And the good news is YouTube is probably one of the highest payers out there. So whenever they strike a deal, they're striking a deal for you. And so hopefully that's more incentive for you to get to that 1,000 subscribers and then the view hours or minutes as quickly as you possibly can. If this is the stuff that you find valuable, trying to figure out monetization and camera settings and lighting and stuff like that, that's what we go over here at this channel. Trying to get you up and running to get you a YouTube business channel going in order for you to start making money as quickly as possible. So be sure to like and subscribe. If you know any other business owners, forward it on to them. Make sure they're aware of this channel. If they want to get started, here's a good place to start, even though I do say so myself. Now, one of the things that's been coming up a lot lately, and I've seen this from several different sources, nobody's quoting YouTube, but it just seems to be happening. And when 2 or 3 or even 4 different YouTubers start to make the same observation, I'm not going to give it 100% credence, but boy, oh boy, I'm going to pay attention. And what they're saying is they've established their YouTube channel. They've got thousands, tens of thousands, maybe even hundreds of thousands or into the millions of subscribers. Okay, great. They passed the first test. Naturally, when you've got hundreds of thousands or millions of subscribers, you're definitely going to pass the minutes or the seconds threshold. Okay, fine, that's covered. So they start adding YouTube Shorts. Now, Shorts pays significantly less than YouTube long form. We're talking 1 to 7 cents versus $12 to $20. Big difference for the same amount of content, that kind of thing. Okay, so there's a big difference between the two. What on long form could earn you a check of $300, on YouTube Shorts might make you a check of $10, $15. Something to weigh out. But the big thing that all these YouTubers are starting to talk about, some folks that I've kept in touch with, they're starting to say that maybe the YouTube Shorts are starting to interfere with their YouTube channel. And what I mean by that is between the viewing and the subscriptions, things are just kind of, instead of YouTube Shorts supporting their YouTube channel, the YouTube Shorts are kind of bringing the channel in line with the Shorts. So what a couple of them are experimenting with, and we haven't seen the results yet, but a couple of them are experimenting with having their YouTube channel and having a Shorts channel. Keeping the two separate, letting them grow on their own, and seeing what happens in that respect. Yes, you're talking about taking these videos, chopping them up and turning them into these videos. Very similar content, obviously. But what is happening with the growth of the channel, the subscribership, and of course the monetization has yet to be seen, but it doesn't look like it's helping as much as they thought it would. So now a couple of them are experimenting with two separate channels, and if this comes up again, believe me, I'll be sure to give you an update. Now, kind of along those same lines, like I mentioned just a moment ago, taking the long form content and turning it into short form content, you're gonna be reducing it, chopping it up, slicing and dicing, getting it down to usable chunks that, remember, shorts can only be 1 minute long. Anything longer than that, 1 minute and 1 second, is going to end up on your long form channel or on your long form playlist. It won't end up on your Shorts tab on your YouTube channel. Now, to help you make that short form content, I've got a download for you, a free download for you about free software. 2 frees. Free download, free software. There's a bunch of free software out there, free video editing software, and I've compiled a list that works for Mac, PCs, even Linux. If you want to click the link below and get your copy of the video editing free guide, does that make sense? Click below and get your copy right now. I'm Nic Natarella with AdWise Creative. Thank you for watching.